Episode 16. Your host, Caesar RE, co host, Black Hack 2K, and our guest this week, Kobutah. Kobutah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I had a 2004 Honda Accord, and I was looking for a name. I was looking at different stuff, and for some reason, I look over at my key fob, and the serial code on it was like it was Kobutah. Just happened to be those letters that actually made something pronounceable with a number after it. I'm like,
That's cool.
that's kind of wicked. I'm gonna take that because who's gonna make something up? Because you look at all these other ones and you're like, it's this 1742 or whatever. They just throw numbers onto it and stuff like that. And the only variants that I have out there in anything is I'll throw a 451 at the end of it, and that's a Ray Bradbury reference because of what I do. I've been in IT for 20 plus years. I just made a transition into information security, and yeah, I read Fahrenheit 451 every couple of years because it is very poignant. Every year I've read it since about 10 years ago, it gets scarier because we are falling into what he predicted back. I can remember, was it written in the 60s or 70s or something like that? When he talks about the control of the government and the buildup of, dependence on social media, which it wasn't called social media on that. It was his wife would, I need another screen in this room so I can talk to more people and we can do our virtual play practice or whatever. And I'm like, every year I read it, and I have a feeling when I read it this year, because this is my year to read it again after the COVID and all the virtual meetings, I'm just going to read it and I'm going to be like, oh, this is just terrible. So that's where that came from.
Awesome. Now, Kobutah, I know you were talking about your little one having a concert. You want to talk a little bit about your family and your kids?
Yep. I've got to remember the years here because everything's been blurred together. Remarried 2 years ago. We've got my two oldest. Well, I've got three kids. It's one of those scenarios. It's like my youngest, her dad's not really involved. He's somewhat involved, but I'm the one that's here every single day. So when people ask me, I'm like, I got three kids.
Sure.
My oldest is graduating
as you should.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, as a parent coming in that way, into a blended family, you wonder, am I going to be able to love this kid as much as I love my flesh and blood kids? And yeah, there's no separation now.
Yeah,
None.
that's awesome.
None whatsoever. My oldest is graduating this, God, in 23 days, 22.
Wow.
And then heading off to LSU.
Wait, how old?
She's 17.
Oh, I thought you said 20 something.
No.
No,
it's like my wife's 20.
No. Graduating high school in 23 days, he said.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, man, my wife's 22. That's what I was thinking.
No. No, for some reason when I get married, I've married someone. My first wife, we were 16 days apart in age.
Oh, that's cool.
And at family reunions are like, oh, who's got the closest birthday? I'm like, oh, we got it beat. No, my aunt and her husband are 3 days apart. And I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's cool though.
And then my second wife, my current wife, her birthday is this month, so it's like barely over 4 or 5 months. Gotta love 77, the year of Star Wars.
Were you around when I was talking trash on Star Wars a couple episodes back? Did you catch that one?
I did not, because I probably would have been making some comments
there.
Good. Yes.
Nitro, young boy Nitro was not happy with me. Every time he gets a chance to shit on Fortnite now, he does it. He like comes out of left field and he's just like, oh, this is my time. I'm going to give it back. I wasn't really talking shit. I was just saying it wasn't my cup of tea. But who were we talking with?
I think we were all saying that.
Yeah, but who were we talking with? Because somebody was a fan of it.
No, it was Spencer. That was quite a few episodes ago.
Just a second. I can't get camera angle on this.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
It's upside down. Here, I'm gonna stand up. I'll give you a good view of it.
there we
Yeah.
go.
So, you got your Star Wars, you got your Doctor Who, you got your Star Trek.
That's a
I mean, this,
creative one.
this is the one
That's
that gets
nice.
people. You got to have your Firefly.
That's a creative one.
I couldn't pick just one.
I think you just wanted to stand up so everybody got to see the length of that beard again.
Yeah, for real.
They didn't
Dude,
get to
every
see it
time he
earlier.
stands up, I follow it.
And I picked this shirt specifically because I love Calvin and Hobbes, and you gotta love Dan Silent Bob.
Dope.
Yeah,
I still don't own the shirt that has Calvin and Hobbes as Han Solo and Chewbacca walking along the log.
No, that's awesome.
I just watched an episode of Impractical Jokers that had Jay and Silent Bob in it. I was dying.
My son's name is actually Calvin. Now, we did not name him after Calvin and Hobbes.
Keep telling yourself that.
No,
I agree.
No. I mean, so unpopular opinion here, right? Or I won't even say unpopular opinion. It's not an opinion. Growing up, Calvin and Hobbes was not like my comic. I never even read any of them, I don't think, or the books or any of them. So I definitely did not. I don't know if my wife did, but when we first started dating, it was like conversation of names, and like my family's all C's, so in my brain I was always engraved to name things with a C. And the only real name that we're having a second, so I don't know what we're gonna do, but the only name that we agreed upon was Calvin. But in my Instagram post, when I announced the name, I did a collage, like multiple pictures, and the first one was Calvin and Hobbes. But I basically did like you can be a cartoon, you can be an athlete with Cal Ripken and Calvin Johnson. What do we got?
I was just waiting for him to twist that wrong.
Yeah, don't twist that.
Wait, you twist it?
I don't know.
I don't know if you twist it or what, or if you hit it or whatever.
There's a
my wife said
wife that are going back
earlier?
and forth on TikTok right now with those.
Is that the correct one though, or is that just you have both of them right now?
I don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, it's gonna blast the gender of the baby, either pink or blue.
Wait, what?
You dumbass. Listen, the content hold on. The content creator, the guy who's on TikTok every day, doesn't know what a fucking gender reveal confetti blaster is, chat. Like, what is that all about?
I don't think we're doing that.
100% that's what that is. Like, why else does she have
I have two of them.
Yeah, one pink and one blue. One pink and one blue.
Look, I think my son broke it.
Yeah.
Do I twist it?
Oh my god.
I'm not sure. I've never held one, but I've seen enough people.
I don't use one. One's pink.
Moves.
One's pink. One's blue. You give it to somebody who knows what the gender is, and they give you back the one it is.
Do I just hit it? What do I do?
Oh my god.
I don't know, but don't point it at your face again. Like the husband who's got it backwards and he does it and it launches right into his groin.
We might end up ending early when he like blasts himself off here. We might need.
I don't know how to do it.
We might need somebody to step in and sub in.
Is it a twist?
Black here. I don't know. Who are you asking?
Anyone.
He's hoping Chad has a response for him.
Oh fuck.
You knew it was gonna happen. Why are you acting?
No, I didn't know this one was gonna work.
We were telling you the whole time. We were telling you the whole time. I guess you're having both. Pink and blue is you're having both. I mean, we were telling you the whole time. I don't know what you want us to do here.
No, I thought this one was broke.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Whatever. Yeah, hopefully he does one of those for his gender reveal and not the guys that have started the brush fires in Texas and other areas that burned crazy from the
it's a twist
shooting Tannerite.
I Happy Gilmore to golf ball for mine. We had friends over. We always have a Halloween party. This is back in 2019. We had friends over for a Halloween party, and I'm like, what do I want to do for this gender reveal? Okay, let me hit a golf ball, right? I like golf. Let me hit a golf ball. And then we always do a themed Halloween party. So we were like, you know what? Let's do an Adam Sandler themed Halloween party. And I'll dress as Happy Gilmore. And then I'll Happy Gilmore a golf ball. So
I honestly thought that one was broke.
Yeah. So I Happy Gilmore to golf ball. My wife was standing there in a penguin costume with a mom teeny or whatever, right? Like one that has no
Yeah.
alcohol in it, but yeah. So the penguin from Billy Madison. It was a great time. But I
Oh, you want an
digress.
unpopular opinion?
Go ahead.
There are sections of it that I will tolerate, but I am not a big Billy Madison fan.
No. So I would
My
not
wife
say
hates it.
I would not say it's going to be an unpopular opinion for a lot of people, but it's not going to be like you won't hear me rank Billy Madison near the top of the Adam Sandler movies. I like Billy Madison. I'll watch the movie and it's a good, I like it. But it's not one of my top. I'll put Happy Gilmore above it. I'll put Big Daddy above it. I'll put Little Nicky
Mr.
above it.
Deeds.
I'll put
Oh,
Mr.
Little
Deeds
Nicky
above it.
is underrated by so many people. There's
Yeah.
so much fun stuff in Little Nicky.
Rodney Dangerfield's cameo in that is great. It's all
Henry
good.
Winkler at the end.
Yeah, Henry Winkler pops in there.
I'm sorry, Henry.
Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So, how's that feel having your oldest one getting ready to graduate?
There was worry. There was anxiety. How she has responded to things in the last month. What kind of answer she gives me when I'm asking her questions about certain things, because I've had to have those tough conversations. Okay, we're in central North Dakota, one of the largest towns in third largest, second largest. But that's not big to an urban area, you know, and this is a big change for her. So I've had to have those tough conversations about, can't stop you from drinking when you're at college, but here's the one rule you need to follow. You mix your drink, you take control of your drink
Oh
all
yeah.
the time. Those types of conversations. And there's those types of worries. I think my biggest worry went out the window when she goes, Dad, I wrote you down as if anything happens, the school is worried. I put your name down. And I was like, okay. So if something happens, there's a small army of, half a dozen to a dozen guys who have watched her grow up that will be standing right beside me as I'm calling one of the two people that I know that own and can pilot planes, and we will be down there in short order. Because he messed with my kids. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Sure.
Papa Bear coming out. So how she's handling things and how she talks and the understanding that I know she has, things that I didn't think she was really talking about or had a handle on. No, she's got it. She's got it. I mean, I she just told me the other day that she's got a boyfriend. And I've never seen her so uncomfortable as, Dad, I've got something to tell you. I'm like, okay. And I've prepped. However my kids are, you know, you know, gender wise, sexuality, all of that, I don't care.
Yeah.
They're my kids. They're always going to be my kids. So I'm waiting for some big news. And she goes, so my prom date. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, we're dating. I'm like, cool. And she just kind of had that look of, seriously? And I'm
That's
like,
it.
yeah. Well, the reason she was so apprehensive on telling me is because I've always made the jokes of, well, if you have your boyfriend come over, just let me know so I can be cleaning my guns. But when I explained to her, I said those are really jokes. The true understanding is, I just want them to know, any guy, boy, man, whatever that she's involved with, that they hurt her, they will get the repercussions of it. She will, and she's strong enough, and I hope she doesn't, end up in an abusive relationship like that or anything like that. But I can tell you straight out, I get a hint of it, and whoever wants to take this recording and say, oh, you said this. No, I'm going to kick down that door. I'm going to get her out of that situation. I'm not
Yeah.
going to be alone.
Yeah.
So there will be ramifications. It's unacceptable.
It is.
When you find someone, you're looking for that partnership. You're looking for that caring. You're looking for that, you know, cohabitation, co-relationship, whatever. You're building a life together. Um, and I would be very surprised if she ended up in something like that. She is too strong.
Sure.
She really holds to her opinions. She has pushed back on me, and you know what? I commend her for that because she should have that strength to do that. So, yeah, a lot of that apprehension about her going off to college and stuff is melting away, and I don't I'm not like, "Oh, you gotta do this," or "You gotta call me every Sunday," or whatever like that, and I I'm gonna call her. If she answers, and maybe if she's like she said wants to say, "Hey, I'd like to talk to you every Sunday," or something like that, or, "I've got something going on." I'm like, "Hey, that's cool. I just wanna know how you're doing." I'm not gonna dig into it. She's got her own life. She has a lot of things planned out because 'cause I've talked to her for so many years. Because I came out of high school kind of knowing what I wanted to do, and I have a 25-year IT career without a degree.
Congrats. That's
And,
a long time.
yeah, and I spent a fair amount in some lower level positions and things like that, but, you know, n to see where I've gotten now, I actually had my boss say, "But look what you've done over look where you've gotten yourself without a degree. Do you really need it?" I still have the drive to get it. I wanna get it. I'm hoping to go back to school this fall. Um, but that didn't work for me. I didn't know exactly what I was doing. So I've been talking to my kids since they were, elementary school, middle school, like think about it. What makes you happy? What do you love doing? Because that's why I've had such a great career. I love what I do.
Sure.
Um, I'm lucky to have a workplace right now that I actually love going to work, even on the stressful days. Um, but, it's not really a joke when people say, "Hey, find something you love doing and find a way to get paid for it, and you'll never really work a day in your life."
Take note of that, Caesar. That's the title.
So that's the thing. I when he's saying it though, I feel like one of our early episodes was something very similar around loving what
Actually,
you
that
do.
was the title.
I have to look back at whose it was, but I'm pretty sure somebody had one that was something along those same lines.
Sorry if I groan a little bit. I'm
No.
I'm reeling from being a
Uh,
slightly overweight old man that was
landscaping all
working
day.
in landscaping all day. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who
enjoy
normally
what you
works
do. A lesson for
enjoy what you do. Four
yeah.
four was
Dustin.
Dustin. I was gonna say I thought it was Dustin. Um
So can I butt in for a little bit?
yeah. You're
So
you're always welcome. Unless you're gonna pop that other, gender
no, that
stick. Okay.
you have no idea what my
No,
room looks like
no,
right
no.
now.
I know what it looks like.
um so what was the scariest moment? Because your kids are older and our kids are young. What was if you don't mind, what was the scariest moment you've ever had with your kids? Because
That's
mine
easy.
Mine was honestly Mason the other day. And I like everyone in my stream seen how like fucked up I was the rest of the day. And
Oh yeah, you
I
cut
could
off
not
early last night. I
I
was
couldn't
sending vibes your way, man.
I could not wrap my head around what was going on cuz like, my and it's real hard to see when a kid is just doing something for attention, cuz like he was going and then you call him out on it and he would be like and it's like, are you joking or is something wrong? Tell me,
Yeah.
bub. And he just, I could never get him to do it naturally. And then my wife sends me a video while I'm streaming 10 minutes into my stream. And it's a video of him just sitting on the couch by himself. And she zoomed the camera in and he's just sitting over there going, and I'm like, that's not right. And then I'm sitting there and I'm like, Miranda, you have to take him to the hospital. Like, just take him, let me finish what I'm doing. And then you take him. He's obviously fine right now. So, like, he can wait 10 minutes, So I finished what I was doing. And then my wife's like, I'm not even going. I'm not even going. I'm not ruining your day. And I'm like, Miranda, that's already happened. Like, my concentration is not there. And like that's not a bad thing. Don't get me wrong. And she's, she thinks it's bad because like I was in a mood. And it's not that I was in a mood, it's just I couldn't stop thinking about it. And then my wife's gone this whole time. And then seeing my boy getting them x-rays and getting all the swabs, it was just a mental mind fuck to the
Yeah, you
point
just want the answers. When you got all that stuff
yeah.
going on, you just want the answers,
And
and
like
the waiting just messes with you.
I couldn't focus and I'm like thinking cancer. I'm thinking everything because like cancer runs heavy on my mom's side, like all kinds of stuff. And that's the first thing my mind goes to is the worst. And I'm stuck in my head. I'm like, what's going on with Mason? All the shit's going on with me. Now him and like I was just crying. Like I didn't know what the was going on last night. And then comes back, all the swabs come back good. His x-ray looked excellent, they said. So that's awesome. And I'm so proud of him. He stood there and did his x-rays perfect. And that's a lot asking from that guy because he can't sit still to save his life. But like that is the scariest moment I've had as a parent. And it was just the worry. It wasn't even the fact that anything was wrong with him. So like you with kids much older, I couldn't imagine the horror stories. And I don't take that wrong, horror stories, but you know what I mean.
No, it's just you're referencing the fact that the fear that comes into it, and
Ugh.
that's an easy word to correlate with that. Uh, so the blizzard of 2010 that shut down the East Coast. Okay, my ex-father-in-law had taken all of his kids and their families to New York, and the day we were supposed to leave, that's when all the flights were getting canceled. Okay, and he needed to get back. He had built up and was running he's retired now, but he had built and was running a industrial contracting company that ran down the central part of the United States. And so he basically was doing everything he possibly could to get us out of there. And it helped me. We were living in Minneapolis at the time, in Twin Cities in Minnesota, and he had a jet for his company. So that was flying east as we were trying to get west. We get to the I think we ended up in New Jersey, and then the plane couldn't land and had to land in Pennsylvania, so we ended up uh, getting to Pennsylvania because we could drive, and it's all about the landing because a jet can pretty much take off at any time, but landing's always the rough spot.
Yeah.
We pack, so it's the four of us, my ex-wife, our kids, her sister, I can't remember. I think they had one or two kids at the time. Her brother. So I think it was like 15 plus people. And with private jets, you can kind of sneak a few more people on. So we had this packed. Well, to make it easier, instead of dropping us off in the cities and then heading back to North Dakota, we flew all the way to Bismarck, dumped everybody out, and we had a private flight, which usually is a 2-hour flight. But when you're talking about, you don't even reach cruising altitude in that thing and you're already coming down, it's 45 minutes. It's a 6.5-hour drive at 75, 80 miles an hour,
Yeah.
45 minutes. We land, and I only give the preface so you understand what we're doing here. There's the four of us. We're all just exhausted. It's 1 a.m. The East Coast is pretty much shutting down at that point because we were watching the news. And we land, and I'm like trying to wake my son up. And I'm smacking him in the face. He's not coming to. The scary part, I unbuckled his seatbelt and he slumped limp.
Oh God.
And I'm trying to make him come to. He was, between 5 and 7. Just a second. 06, 2010. So he was only like 4 years old. And he just slumped limp. And I not full power, but I give him a good slap because I don't know what's going on. I'm checking. He's breathing, but he's not coming to. And I'm getting a little shaky right now because it was one of those moments of, oh my God, if this is actually happening, all of the scenarios are running through my head. and then he just kind of groggily comes to. And I just remember picking him up and holding him and getting this look of, "What's Dad, why are you doing
Yeah.
this?"
Yeah.
He's
Because he
like,
has
I
no
was
clue.
just taking a nap.
He was
Yeah.
so
Was it
out.
altitude sickness?
No, no, there's been one other instance. He was with his mom after our divorce, and they were traveling, and I don't they they don't know exactly what happened. Um, he had erratic breathing. I don't They don't know if he had a seizure or anything like that. Um, but he was acting abnormal, so they end up calling the ambulance and they check him out. And but when that was happening, they couldn't bring him to. They couldn't get him to wake up. Um, so it's happened a couple of times, but there's nothing medical behind it that we can have tracked or found. You know, so it's I have those worries. And the kid can sleep like a rock, like me. I mean, if he's asleep, you could have a low flying jet just, you know, fly by.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Top Gun flyby, and won't phase him. If the kids aren't in the house, I'm the same way. But when the kids are in the house, my wife's like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "You didn't hear them talking or the noise or whatever?" I mean, there was one night I was like, I grabbed my phone and I text my son. I'm like, "Who are you talking to?" It's like 1 in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
who are you talking to? You need to get to bed. Because I heard him chatting from his room down the hall. Um, so that right there, scariest moment,
Wow.
hands down. I have not had another moment that has freaked me out more when it comes to my kids.
Yeah. I was worried, like watching my son do those, that weird breathing, and then like he would have like this odd stare. And then like during like all the classes for my seizure and stuff, like preparing Miranda, they talked about this one specific seizure, and it was I forget the name of it, but it's like you lose motor function, and it's just your brain circuiting, and
Mhm.
like you just go, it looks like you're daydreaming, and you lose all that motor function and everything. And that was the one thing I was looking for in my video. But like, man, your story scared the shit out of me. My hair was standing up. Like,
Yeah, no,
I'm good.
my ex-wife's mother, I still call her my mother-in-law because we were still married when she passed away. But she was wheelchair bound since I had actually met my ex-wife in high school. um, from stage 2 MS. And,
Oh god.
you know, he did her dad did everything possible. I mean, there was bee therapy in Mexico. He did anything he could possibly try for it. So I have that worry because my ex-wife has dealt with some, uh, motor function issues. She's had to do immunosuppressant therapies for it. There was a time where she could barely pick up her purse because she couldn't grab, you know, and she always tried to explain it to me. And I'm like, you do realize we were married for 12 years. I mentally prepared myself for that part of our marriage before we even said our vows because I knew that was a possibility. Um, I worry about my nieces uh, I mean, he's still my brother-in-law. I mean, we still have a good relationship. Um, but I worry about them because his wife, her father has MS. And then, so you've got MS on both sides. They say they can't verify if it's hereditary, but I have those worries. So I have to watch out for my kids for any types of those symptoms because uh, their grandmother was diagnosed in her 20s with
Oh wow.
MS. So spent a lot of her life in a wheelchair. you know, Her medications she couldn't take orally, so they actually installed a pump
Hmm.
so that she could get the volume of the medication that she needed because she could no longer take it orally. So it's a lot of crazy stuff that you put yourself through to prepare. Um, but you still don't know if you're going to be ready for it.
I
So
don't know.
on a lighter note, we'll move on to my son, because man, we have we have just gone down a dark rabbit hole,
Yeah.
and I think
My
it'd be nice
bad.
no, it's a great
I
question,
had
and
to ask.
especially with what
Yeah.
happened with you yesterday. You were out, man. We were playing, and you're just like, I'm not focused, and I'm just like,
I
I totally
not even
understand.
even today, like I was talking about it all day. Like my reaction time, I'm just not there today. Like I fucked up.
Your family's more important, man.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I think I know you were saying, it is a deep rabbit hole or dark rabbit hole, right? But I think conversations have a number of different directions, right? So it's good to kind of branch out and get into all of those, especially in something like this. Um, you know, I envision this vodcast to be a little bit about getting to know people and a lot of it about um, teaching people, right? Or getting awareness on different things out there that hopefully helps people understand that they're not alone in something, right? It's not like you're not the more than likely you're not the first person to face something. You just might be the first person that's facing it, right? So
Yeah.
how do you start to get out and know more people or hear more stories or listen to these things? So these kind of conversations, somebody might have the same emotion going on and feel like it's not right to have that emotion, right? Or that worry. So it's even though it goes down a little bit, like Ari joined right when that conversation was going on, and I think Ari was saying, "Damn, I came right in a tense moment." Um, but I mean, I think it's a real conversation, and so Black, I'm glad you asked that question. I'm not there yet. At 14 months, I still got a little bit of time before I hit that panic button. Hopefully. Um,
Yeah, hopefully.
but
Hopefully.
uh, I don't know if you had somewhere to go with the conversation. Um, you can take it to that lighter side, or I was curious where your daughter chose to go to school and where she's off to.
LSU.
Oh, nice,
She
very
is heading
nice.
down to Baton Rouge. And since
Yeah.
Ah,
we're in the
cool.
upper Midwest, she has found the straight line to the other side of the country. Uh,
So what anything's particular draw her attention there?
uh, their dental program.
Okay.
Early on, she was looking at like orthodontia and stuff like that, and she didn't really stick to that. She was like, "That's a little much," and she realizes where her drive is and where her uh, work ethic is and stuff like that. And she does. She has a strong work ethic, but she doesn't want to go to school for 8 years. I think it's 8 to 10 because you have to get your DDS, then you go on to orthodontia. Um, but she was impressed by their dental program enough that, she's dental hygiene. I still remember when I was going to college, attempting college in the mid 90s, that was a certificate program, year, 6 months, whatever. Now they've got a full 4-year program because they've developed that more. So she wants to go for dental hygiene, but she wants to go somewhere where she's got a really solid degree behind it. So she'll be able to pick a really good job wherever she wants to live in the country. Uh, so that that's a big bonus for her.
Yeah.
I'm excited for her.
Yeah. I mean, LSU's a decently sized school, right? Excuse me. I mean,
Oh,
it's a pretty big school when you're talking, colleges across and universities across the country, and it's a well known one, I would say, right? Like at least, I mean, in my opinion, and maybe it's because I am a sports guy and I watch a lot of sports, right? Those schools that are good at like a sports program, doesn't matter what sport, one of the big, I say three when it comes to college sports, right? Like, yeah, there's hockey, but there's a lot less college teams in hockey and a lot less publicity on it. So you get a lot more on your basketball and your football, right? Everybody's paying attention in
oh
football.
yeah.
Everybody's paying attention during March Madness. And then your baseball, you'll see it every once in a while. I know it's a little bit less, but you'll see it. But I guess what I'm getting at is any of those schools that have good teams there, they get a lot of exposure, right? Like,
Oh yeah.
because even though I guess the way I look at it is, unless you're an Ivy League, right? People know the Harvard, people know the Yale, like people know those schools because of academics. I would argue that a lot of the country doesn't know a school based on their academics first, right? Most
Mm.
people probably know them based on uh, media, and media isn't
Yeah.
driving based on their school, right? It's not like, hey, here's the test scores for this, or here's the job placement for this school. It's typically, here's how this team did, right? And it's a lot of that media going on, and that doesn't even mean an ESPN, right? That's like news channel will put it on and things like that. So that's a good school, and I mean, definitely a far trip down there.
Yeah. I've looked at the campus size, and I am pretty sure that campus of LSU is larger than the town I graduated high school from.
That's awesome.
I looked at it and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I could walk across town when I was in high school faster than she could get to classes.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I mean, that's what is that, like a 6 hour flight? Four and a half? What is that?
I really haven't looked at flights
Yeah, I wonder.
because her mom and her brother and her are gonna drive down, kind of make a
Okay.
mini vacation on the way. And then my best friend and I are gonna load up my SUV, and we're gonna make a straight through road trip, which is about 24 hours.
Oh, yeah.
But we want to get down there a day early so that we can just eat the day prior because of all that Cajun and Creole food. We got to find a place that has a
Ooh,
crab
yeah.
boil, all of that. When it comes to American food, that region is my favorite. uh, Jambalaya, all of that stuff. You eat it, you get to taste it, and the spice really doesn't kick in till it hits your stomach, and it's got that furnace building, and you start sweating. And it's not because you're going, I can't feel my tongue. No, it's because you've gotten to eat something. It's just absolutely wonderful, great flavors. But then it gets into your body and it goes, I'm gonna mess you up. And I can't do a Creole, I can't do a Cajun accent to say that because that's what oh yeah, it's going to mess you up. I see. I don't know, like a good Cajun accent for that.
Ari said he had jambalaya for dinner, so it's kind of fitting
Ooh,
conversation.
I'm jealous.
My dad actually, he's made a trip out to the Dakotas.
What for? Poor man.
He's a
No, I'm
bird.
kidding.
He's a bird hunter. So
Oh yeah.
he used to work for Cabela's actually. I mean, he was
Mhm.
in the steel mill for years, and then when the steel mill shut down, he basically did glass factory, steel mill, like that's what he did. Finally, when it like closed down, the one he was at, he decided like, hey, I'm gonna go get my associate's degree. Went into customer service, worked at Cabela's. He loved hunting. Always had bird dogs growing up. So he ended up actually, I mean, he's retired from there now, but he made a lot of connects at Cabela's who were people from the Midwest. So he goes out and he stays on somebody, like he pitches a tent. It takes his one dog across and stays there. So my family actually did a trip out west one year for vacation. We did beaches like the Carolinas when I was young, but then we started doing baseball trips where we would go hit up a bunch of baseball stadiums. The year we went out west, it was actually we only went to Colorado. We only went to the Stadium, but we hit up uh, Mount Rushmore, uh, Yellowstone.
Yeah, that's
We
about
went
as
into
north
Montana
as
for a little
most
bit.
people get. Is they'll get up to the upper parts of South Dakota. Maybe you'll hit Devil's Tower in
We went to Devil's Tower. Yep.
Wyoming,
Yep.
and that is absolutely amazing. We did that a couple of years ago because it was an easier trip. But yeah, there's not too many reasons to get up into North Dakota. But to be honest with you, uh, I've hunted, when I was younger. It's not my thing now, but my dad and I, we'd go and, grouse, pheasant, duck, geese. I mean, we are a channel for the Canadian geese coming through. I know there's one guy in town. He YouTubes his hunts and stuff like that, and has a pretty amazing following. He's had some pretty big hunters come up and hunt with him up here. I'm more deer uh, for game. Hunting's very big up here.
Yeah, my
So,
dad, when we were younger, he would go, for like 2 weeks. Um, and he was definitely more of the antelope, mule deer when he would go out there. When he was younger. He's like 67. He'll be 68 this year. So he's now birds are easy, right? It's like you can shoot
Yeah.
a bird, you can clean a bird, and you can take the meat. I think he typically gives like he goes pheasant hunting. He'll typically give the meat to the people he's on their property, right? Who's letting him stay.
oh yeah,
Um, but
Customary.
right, but it's good work for the dog. Dog gets to go out and it's just a hobby at that point, right? But then he doesn't waste the meat, right? They eat the meat. But when he was younger, he went up to Alaska one year. I think he got an elk, or maybe he might have got a moose, but you can't get the moose back. Right. I commend my mom. My wife would never let me. I have one white-tailed deer in the top of my stairs, like in my entryway. Just one. The entryway in my parents' house, when you walk in, there's about 5 or 6, staring at you of all these different types. Right. It's like a
Yeah.
Jim Carrey, like Ace Ventura movie when you
that's
walk in
kind
there.
of
You know what I mean?
crazy and very common up here.
Yeah.
There's actually one uh, business owner in town. You go to the business, and he has gone on African safari.
Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
it is until you walk in there and you see the giant giraffe mount that he's
Sure.
got, and you
That's
just
bad. Yeah.
wonder, really?
Yeah.
Um, so and that's the thing out there is they've got those safaris where you shoot like a dozen animals and then uh bring them back. But no, it's very common to go into homes, businesses, and deer mounts. My dad actually made up my first mount, because here's the crazy part: at 42, I finally got my first deer.
Oh wow.
Um, but in the last 10 years, it's really tough because tags up here are, even as residents, are crazy to get. You'll go 4 to 5 years without getting a tag, but they have a system that, if you don't get one next year, you get 2 entries.
Oh,
If you
okay.
didn't get it the second year, the third year, you get 4 or 5 entries. But once you hit that fifth year, you have like 60. And if you go a year past that, you're up at 200 and some entries into it. If you go beyond that, it jumps like 1,000.
Oh, wow.
They have it
That's
gradually go,
crazy.
and then it just shoots up. But we've had deer tag decreases. When I was growing up in high school, you had the first 3 lotteries, and if you entered, you got a deer. But after that, you could walk into Shields, the sporting goods store up here.
Shields is awesome.
Yeah, Shields is absolutely
We got
amazing.
a Shields. My kids love
Good.
the pillars. There's
Well,
pillars with fish tanks. Oh, they love
you
them.
we've got the one in Fargo has a Ferris wheel inside of it.
Oh
Yeah,
my.
we got one too.
Yeah. They haven't done that here because the Shields just it's a single level building. It's an anchor in the mall. They just keep expanding. I think in the next 10 years they'll have consumed half the mall, and it'll be as massive as all the others. Um, but you could walk in, oh, I didn't get my tag. I forgot to go into the lottery. Oh, no, we'll just go over to Shields, get you a tag. And you could walk in, get a buck tag, walk out. Uh, but that's really changed now. And it's tougher and tougher. Uh, this last year was my son's uh, first year hunting, for a kid who at 12 is like, "Oh, dad, why do I gotta take hunter safety?" I said, "Even if you never hunt, you're taking it because it's gun safety."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because, you
Yeah.
know, you live in a state where most people grew up with glass doored gun cabinets.
Sure.
Now everybody buys gun safes because it's just smarter. But, you know, you knew it was hunting season in high school because, well, deer opener was a Friday. There was no school on that Friday. and you had deer rifles and shotguns in the back windows of the
It's
pickup.
still like that here in Illinois. There's no school on deer season, like day one of deer season.
Oh yeah, no, conveniently, either there's no school, there's an event, or the students that do show up for school that day just get to screw off because
Yeah.
everybody else is gone for hunting. Uh, but it's a skill that honestly, if things were to be turned upside down in this country, it would be a very valuable skill. Uh, but he got his first deer. I was so proud of him. I mean, he let out such a yell because
So I did my dad, that's like what he did, right? Um I have an older and a younger brother. Um that they love to go to. I was the person who went because the family went, and there were certain days like or certain moments of hunting in my childhood that I really enjoyed. Um, and then there was like this isn't something I have to do. It wasn't something I have to do. Um, I was fortunate in Pennsylvania. I guess we're running wild with white-tailed deer, right? But you got a buck tag and 3 doe every year, right? And there was no lottery or anything, at least not when I was doing it. I hunted every year from 13 till 17. I went off to college that fall, so I pretty much stopped hunting because you didn't get off school like you got off. But I managed to get a buck every year. We were lucky enough to hunt on a family friend's farm, and they had them going. But I always remember it is exhilarating. It was always exhilarating for me to that success. But I always had that moment of like heartbreak at the same time. And that's why like hunting doesn't really do it for me other than the fact of like I do enjoy deer meat. I don't ever
Mm.
remember having beef. Like we always had ground deer meat, right? Because we had 12 tags by the time my younger brother turned 13. We literally had 12 deer we could get a year. That's enough ground meat for the whole year. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah,
Um, and it's lean, right? That's the big difference with deer meat
oh
compared to
yeah,
beef. It's
oh,
very lean.
venison is very lean and it's good for you. Now here's a question for you. Did
So
you
good
guys?
too. Nom nom.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The
Did
jerky.
I like food.
did they where you were hunting? Were you blind hunting or anything like that, or were you kind of
Always
hitting the
we
trees and everything like that and walking and?
always tree stands. We blind hunt for geese and things like that, right? But deer hunting, I've always been in a tree stand. Um, my dad, I don't know how eh, he would climb up. We had our main tree stand that it was our family tree stand. When we weren't old enough to hunt ourselves, we still went with my dad on the first day. First thing in the morning, we'd wake up, we'd have our peanut butter and jelly sandwiches packed, and we'd go and we'd sit in the tree stand, probably sleep a little bit, right? And then my dad wake us when he sees one. Um, I was like 24 feet up in the air, right? And then when I finally, like, I stayed in that tree stand until my younger brother was old enough, and he's 2 years younger. So when I was 15, I was in my own tree stand for 3 years, and that one was only I don't know like 18 feet off the ground, maybe 16 feet off the ground.
And I think
Um,
one question, real quick: bow
yeah,
or rifle?
I
That
was
was gonna
all.
be my question.
It's good. I was always I just rifle hunted. I was small, so it was interesting because my dad and my older brother were bigger, but I had a 243, just a real short 243
Mhm.
rifle that I hunted with every single year. Now, I did get a doe one year with a muzzleloader during muzzleloader season, that's the awesome one, right? That's you pack the gunpowder in, you put the little ball in, and there you go. Like that's the
Oh,
fun
yeah.
stuff. Because in Pennsylvania, at least, there's a certain period that you can hunt with a muzzleloader, not with a rifle, right? Um,
Yeah, we've got the 3
3
seasons.
seasons archery, yeah.
Yep.
So now my dad, my brothers, they all got into archery. I've only ever shot bow at like their bows out of target. I never got into buying a bow for myself and doing that. And now I don't ever see myself going back to that. Um, but yeah, so I guess what I was getting at,
Oh, for
the
life.
yeah, right. The only other thing we did is you would basically sit in your tree stand for the morning, right? And then midday, right before lunch or whatever, we would do a push, right? So we would get a couple of people lined up and just walk the woods to basically push any deer out of the woods towards whoever's sitting up ahead. And
Yeah,
that's
because if
where
they
gun
hunker
safety
down,
really comes in.
they're gonna hold there.
Yeah, they're just gonna lay down. So
What kind of
it's
temps are you dealing with during your season?
so ours are Thanksgiving. So in
Okay,
Pennsylvania, we're looking at
around the same time.
not it's fall. It's not terrible. There are some days that it's really cold in the morning, but a lot of the time you wear all this bundled up, and then by the time you're doing a push, you're like down to a t-shirt. But
Oh, I wish.
yeah, not up there.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I've
it's
sat in a blind for, you crawl out there, you got an hour to 2 hours before sunrise,
mm,
um, and you're just you're just waiting. You've got things set, uh, and yeah, I have a sunflower heater hooked to a propane tank that I'd kick in every 15 minutes just to warm up. Because if
yep,
I
we had
didn't, I'd
those.
probably
We had
freeze
those.
myself.
Yeah, we had the little one, right? The little tank with the little burner on it. So I mean, it's
Little
something I
Mister Heater
enjoy.
Buddy.
Yeah, it's definitely something I enjoyed for sure. I know my family enjoyed it. It's not it's not something I choose like as like a hobby. Like I have to do this every year. Like a lot of people I grew up with, or even my family. Like I kind of grew into like okay, I would go like if I'm home or something or not working during that time of year or something, I would probably go. Um, but I kind of my wife would want me to go because she wants like the jerky, right? She's like, go get a
Oh
deer so
yeah,
we can get some jerky. Um,
yeah.
but
We process all of ours. Much to my mother's chagrin, my dad has gotten the ground meat mixer for sausage and stuff like that. He's bought the grinder and the sausage machine every year. It's like another item. But I think there's a little more understanding after this year because there were 3 generations sitting in the blind, you know,
yeah,
and my son lining up pulls the trigger. I've never had a deer drop the way his did.
mm.
I mean, it seriously was standing and it dropped. And the other deer, I don't know if they were running from the gunshot or the yelp that he let out from, hitting that shot. Uh, I've had to track deer for a few miles. It's painful. It's obnoxious sometimes. Uh, so it was more of an experience because here's my dad who's about to retire. I mean, he's retired from teaching, but he's been driving. He got his CDL and he's just been driving beat truck. It's good money. Keep coming in the house. He's finally going to retire this next year. He gets so much enjoyment prepping the land, talking to the
Sure,
landowners and making arrangements. And, like you said, there's always deer steaks or roasts or backstraps or ground venison or whatever that always goes to the landowner. I wish it was as common as, people think it is. And there's a reason landowners are a little bit iffy, but he gets so much enjoyment out of it. My mom says he's in such a good mood leading up to hunting season, even though she's always, "Oh, I gotta go check the blinds. I gotta check this. I gotta set this up. I gotta get the the cam."
It's almost a
That's not
sense of
me.
purpose.
Oh, yeah, and having his grandson out there and the full experience, uh, because when I left, I didn't come back to hunt much. I mean, I hunted in high school. I came back a couple of times and hunted there. Kinda like you did, Caesar. It kinda mirrored because it's not something I would put a lot of effort into going and doing, but, you know, I had a rough relationship with my dad growing up. He was traveling a lot for work. He really wasn't around a lot. My relationship with my dad started in my 20s and on. Um, and to have this type of time every single year where it's like I'm gonna take time off. I'm gonna, here, not taking my kid out of school. I'm really anti doing that if it's not for an amazing purpose. Um, we're gunning up. 3:30 comes off. He's out of school on Friday. We're shooting up to be ready to be in the blind by 5 in the morning the next morning. Uh, because it's now a memory. It's a family experience. It's
sure.
something my son will never forget. It's the look on my dad's face when he did that. My dad was so proud of him. for that. And I'm still talking about it.
Sure.
And I will for ages. Did I get a small doe that only got us 15 pounds of meat? Yeah, because it was the last day and I had to shoot something, and it was a sad, sad deer. Uh, so it's developed into something else,
Sure.
which is great.
Yeah. No, I mean, Black. For me, since we already have the love what you do from episode 4, I'm hearing build the memories is what I'm hearing, right? But yeah, no, I mean, I can't talk hunting like with pure joy. Like I could talk about something like gaming, or something else. But I did enjoy going, and I had fun doing it, and I know it makes my family happy. So like I go. It just what ended up happening was I went away to college, and college didn't have the time off, and then I moved out west, or sorry, out east. If I was still living back near my parents, I probably would go at least a couple days of the season every year. Um, but like honestly, I've probably fished more than I've hunted, and over this amount of time, right? Because I haven't really hunted since I went away for college. Um, but that's not saying much because I didn't fish. I didn't fish a lot either, and I don't have the patience. I'm it's interesting that I can talk about having patience when it comes to camping in a video game. Okay, but I do not. I've noticed myself more and more all the time, just like watching the clock go by, like get moving, get on to the next thing, get on to the next thing, get on to the next thing.
And it
Um,
depends on what and how you're fishing too.
yeah, I guess fly fishing might be better for me because it is like an in and out, in and out, in and out type of thing. Yep. But
All day,
the
baby.
cast and just sit there and lounge and wait for something to bite is yeah, no, yeah, I got you. Something to bite there.
It's escapism for me. When
Sure,
I go
sure.
fishing,
100%.
it's getting to a place my phone can't go off.
Hmm.
Oh,
I mean,
that's nice.
being where I am now, I work policies, procedures, pretty hefty regulated documents, all that. Prior to that, I never knew when I was going to get a phone call. I worked jobs where, you know, we'd trade off the 24/7 on call. So it was like, nope, I can't go and do that.
If you saw me just look down, I looked down at my phone because you said that, and I remembered that I'm on call this weekend. So I'm like, okay, let me just make sure I didn't get any messages or
And I
anything.
apologize. I had to look at my phone because we were talking about my daughter. I'm like, oh crap, I was in the middle of a text conversation with my daughter, prior to coming online here, and I had to go, oh crap, yep, yes, okay, you can go stay at her house tonight, whatever. Um, you know, because I was like, oh crap, I was failing a little bit, and it made me remember that. So, don't feel bad. Um, but it's still I I've got a few lakes around here that I like going to, and I know that there's a cycle. Like seriously, it just goes around. I will cast out about 20 feet into the water,
Sure.
3 feet off the bobber, and sit. And every 15, 20 minutes, I'll hit something and I'll pull it in. And just being outside. I mean, being in IT,
You're inside. Yeah, yeah,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm inside all the time. In basements, many
I,
times.
I keep saying it because with 2020 and now we're into 2021, and my work just told us we won't come back any sooner than September, and that'll depend on the environment and how things are going out here. Um, but I'm in IT. I'm a software developer as well. I go, what do they change it all the time? I'm a software engineer, right? I'm a software engineer, and I make the joke because I do this nightly streams and play video games at night. I'm in this chair, in this seat, in front of these monitors, 12 to 14 hours a day, you know? Then you throw 6 to 8 hours of sleep on that. You're looking at that's 20 to 22 hours. So I'm out of this room for 2 hours a day, you know? That's insane. It's insane.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this
100%.
last 2020 was definitely a lot of that. Um, More of my wife going, "Why are you still downstairs?" was more of the getting away after the day finished. But you know, when you're having to deal with different issues, you could spend another 3 to 4 hours right
Absolutely.
locked in after that. But you know, I've spent 25 years in front of a screen for 8 to 10 plus hours a day.
Sure.
So people are like, oh, what is, you know, the blue light, all this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I have glasses, but if I take them off, I see you guys just fine. It's not like my kids where if they take their glasses off, I can get this close to my daughter and that's when she can see my hand.
Wow.
And it's like, oh, but you wear glasses. I'm like, mm, I think people are looking for reasons on that. But this is actually the first time I've used my new webcam with the light on it, so I'm actually having to get used to that. So you guys know what that's like. I mean, but you guys have, you know, a lot different light in comparison.
In what in what sense? My one ring light is like just brightens
that's
up a
all I
little
got.
bit. You have two, don't you? No?
Not for my main area here. It's just a ring light. I ordered a soft box with a wall mount so I could get rid of my ring light, but right now it's just a ring light.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
only did it because I was noticing that I like to wear
It
a
looks
hat.
good too.
I like to wear a hat, and it was darkening my face a lot of the time, right? So
Wait.
Yeah.
What camera are you using?
Take a guess. Because just by
when
chance,
you grabbed that, are you using a Kia?
it was the only one I could actually even get my hands on at the Best Buy in town.
Yeah, Kias aren't bad. They're not. I love them. They're good, nice
Yeah,
little
but
cameras.
you know, now I got to get a real
Yeah,
camera.
he won
Yeah.
that.
yeah, no, he told me. Yeah, he told me. And I was, you know, when we first started, before we actually started up the stream, you know, when I first tuned into your stream, you only had 3 people left in that mic camera, or the mic giveaway, and he was one of them. I was rooting for him, and then of course it landed on him. I shouldn't have rooted for him. I should have just said,
No,
no, don't
see,
land on
I
him.
want to lose that because I want to win the laptop next month. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I could
look,
really
look,
use
you
that
can
because
listen.
I was, oh yeah, now, yeah, because
No, it's this
it's no
month. Yeah.
longer May 31st with everybody singing it's gonna be May. Uh,
Yeah.
if that meme hasn't been burnt out, it's one of those ones that can burn out pretty quick. But
Yeah.
no, I kind of did a budget build right before COVID hit, and I'm lucky enough to have a machine that I was able to game through and even game now, you know, prior to. So
Yeah, I don't know if I don't know if I'll be in the laptop giveaway or win the laptop giveaway, but if that ends up
You're in
happening,
it.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with it.
You know you're in it.
Okay. I mean, I
so
assumed I
I'm gonna
was.
I'm gonna toss a piece of fact out that I haven't mentioned to anybody yet. I was so close to winning, and I'm so glad I lost to Bitsy. I am, because she I had no use for a stream deck, and I haven't even told Kenny this. If I won, I'd have kept the Razer kit, given it to my son because I've got a decent keyboard and stuff. I'd have reached out to Kenny and said, "Dude, how can I ship to you?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because that was my thought, because holy crap, if I win, I have no use for this, but it would be pretty dang cool. And Kenny, how many times did Kenny say, "Oh man, I want a stream deck. Oh man, I want a stream
I'm
deck."
telling you
I
what,
was
like
like,
I love this stream deck at this point. I'm gonna tell you why in a second. Chat over here is getting mad that I am not replying to them. I am reading every single one of these two's chat, and intentionally not reading to interrupt. So thank you for interrupting. They and just to call them out, Kobutah Chaos originally said hi to you. Okay, he also said you sound a lot younger than what you know. Now he gets to see you because we played COD the other day.
"Yeah,
And he now followed up with, well, I'm going to go spend my time somewhere else since people aren't acknowledging him. So I'm just trying to
oh,
make Chaos feel a little bit bad about his comments, you know,
we are acknowledging you,
since he doesn't feel bad
acknowledging
enough
you."
that he came in second place in the hat giveaway yesterday. Okay.
That was nuts. I had that running while we were playing, and to be honest with you, our play was affected by the fact that Riley and I were watching your stream, and I'm laughing while Riley's making side comments during your stream. You finally finish, and I think it was the next game, we pulled an epic win.
Oh,
I was
nice.
riding high. All 4 of us were still alive. We actually cleared everybody out. None of us
Nice.
were dead. It
Those
was
are
a
the best
solid
ones.
push.
Yeah, those are the best ones. Yeah. Yeah, it was that was a crazy one. But the reason why I've loved the Stream Deck, like I mean, I already liked being able to switch my scenes and just do that kind of stuff. And then I had like my voice mod stuff on it, so I can change the voice and I can set a timer. And I was then I started getting into, oh, I can delete chat with the push of the button, right? And I don't have to go into my chat and type, and clear chat. Oh, I can put it in emote only for when somebody redeems that request. Great.
Yeah. Super
And
nice.
that was getting better. I can clip and things like that. I haven't figured out how the clipping actually works yet, but the one that I added recently, 2 of them I added recently. One is a shout out. So now I can click shout out and it shows me my active chatters, and I can just click their picture and it writes that chat for me, and I don't have to be in my, chat typing it, right? It just does it for me, and I can
Does
shout
it
out
switch the
people.
button to the people?
Yeah, so you click the shout out and then all of a sudden all the active chatters, you can do either viewers or chatters, but it
Nice.
pops up and it's like the active chatters, cuz I feel like that's who I'm primarily going to shout out, is somebody who's actually making themselves
100%.
aware they're in chat, right? Because I'm not going to shout out
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
who's like hiding in chat, right? But anyway, so you can do that. It shows you the picture of them, and then I click them, and boom, there we go. I did that a lot yesterday during the giveaway because I wanted to shout out people for their support this month. Um, the other one was actually switching my game title, because I always either forget about switching my game title, or I have to go into a chat to do it. Now I already have them set up as chats where I can, hey, these are the games I normally play. Go and click which one I'm playing, and it sends the chat to update it. So
Nice. I
so
didn't know that.
yeah,
You used that Stream Deck more than I ever did.
which is why you
I
gave it
still
to
got
me.
my other one in the box, dude.
Which is why you gave it to me.
Yeah, I've been
You
messing
know?
with the phone setup that they've got, where you can turn a tablet or a phone screen into a Stream Deck.
Oh yeah, them are nice.
I
Yeah.
mean, this is how bad IT is for me. I think I got a 7 and a 6 just sitting on the side of my desk, while my phone's sitting on the wireless charger next to me.
Oh,
I've got enough equipment sitting around to be able to use for it.
my 5 and 6 are sitting down here somewhere.
Oh, 5 was my first iPhone. That was a
That was mine as
beautiful
well.
phone.
That was mine as well. I switched from a Droid Incredible to, and I was like anti-Apple, anti-iPhones. I got in it iPhone 5 when Verizon, that was the first one that Verizon opened up, right? Because everything was AT&T before that.
Yep.
So when Verizon opened it up, I got an iPhone 5, and I haven't looked back. It's the same software every single time, but I keep going to it,
I switched because, well, I had the original Droid. Still one of the best Android phones that I think hit the market. The one that with Verizon. It was Verizon's first Android. It was well priced, all that great stuff. Loved it. Went with the M2, first dual core processor. That phone, every other time I went into Google Maps and I worked a job where I had to pull up the address of my next appointment, it rebooted. And it took like 2-3 minutes. The town I live in isn't that large. And I was just tired of it. I had beta ROMs from Motorola. I was communicating directly with Motorola, and it was driving me nuts. And then I went to my iPhone 5 and 5S, 6, 6S Max. I was just climbing the ranks of it. I think I skipped 8 and the 10, and I went with the 10S. I think that was the longest gap I had. Otherwise, I was getting every single one of them. And now it really doesn't matter to me that much unless I have function for it. But I can't go back and visit some of my friends in Minneapolis because I told them flat out. So if you ever see me with an iPhone, you can punch me. And here's a guy
Uh-oh.
I've got my daily carry laptop is a MacBook Pro. I mean, it's a 2015 because I prefer those because anything after that, they started getting wonky with the keyboards and stuff. I've got a Mac Mini sitting here so I can watch stream while I'm playing and it doesn't affect my other stuff. I
Yep.
carry an iPad Pro. Yeah, I got my Apple Watch.
He's all the way
You
there.
know,
He's made the
Decked out.
transformation.
oh
Pretty
yeah.
soon he's gonna be wearing a turtleneck.
No, I
Turtleneck.
can't stand turtleneck.
Turtleneck, shave
Nobody,
the beard,
nobody'd be able
shave
to
the
know.
hair, and there we
How
go.
would they
Dude,
know?
I was about to
How would
ask.
they
I
know
don't
if I'm
think
wearing
we
a
would know.
turtleneck?
Nah, he's got to shave the head and the beard. Look like Steve Jobs with the turtleneck, right?
No, I'm going Woz.
Yeah.
I'm all about Wozniak. That guy is absolutely amazing. I've got total respect for him because he's all about what can we do differently with technology that we have in hand. You know, when people were Hackintoshing the Dell netbooks, when that was a thing, I'm glad netbooks aren't a thing anymore. I still remember the guy that had an Apple logo over the Dell and he signed it. He was just so stoked. He was like, "Oh, I'm glad to see somebody going outside the box with what they have." Uh, but yeah, no, I'm a total Woz fan myself.
Yeah. No, that's a tech world. My friend, I don't know if you are familiar with them being an Apple fan or tech fan. My friend from high school, she's been doing YouTube for the last 10 years. Her older sister was actually started YouTube before that, so she moved out to California and started doing that as well. Her older sister's iJustine. Do you know iJustine?
I do know that name.
She's been all over Best Buy's ads lately. She actually, and I saw this. Fortnite had what's her face on their game the other day. Brie Larson. She's the girl who plays Captain Marvel, right?
Yeah.
So she was on the Fortnite thing. She had a locker, whatever. And the next thing you know, I ended up looking at her Twitter for a second, and she had like this weird Zoom thing going on or something. And she was like meeting other people, like other people. I don't know if they were content creators or what, right? Like, or if they were celebrities. I don't really remember. But it was funny because the first person that popped up was Justine. And she got to meet through the Zoom, right? Brie Larson. And I start looking and I'm like, no, my friend's older sister is kind of like known out there these days. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of people
Oh yeah.
who know her.
Yeah, didn't she do a partner up with Linus at one time for a server build, stuff like that? I mean, I've seen her all over the place.
So yeah, so the reason why I was suggesting it is they actually started a podcast end of last year, I think. I actually listened to a couple episodes while I was driving across the state for the holidays, called Same Brain. And they talk different technology and things like that because that's what they're really into. You know, they're not doing the hot tub streams, which maybe we're going to circle back to that now, Black, about the whole hot tub stream topic.
Oh, you're just
here.
waiting for a time to bring that up.
I was just looking for the how did we get here? Here we go. All right, we're in. Hot tub stream, Black. You mentioned it before we went live, that your chat and everybody's trying to get you to do it. And what I told my chat the other day, because
He would have to be expensive.
I'm
not doing that.
Listen, there was a topic that came up because like people talk about it. Like for me, I feel bad for any female streamers out there who don't want to go down that route, who now get pressured into that route because of the other person, right? Or get treated differently because of that other person that is kind of making it more acceptable for people to come into that stream. Now, if
or
people,
almost required,
or yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. So like, but my whole take on it is I don't care personally. Like, even if I was losing,
when it comes down to it, you're not losing because of those. They were never your viewers to begin with.
Exactly.
The hot tub, the people that are watching the hot tub have something else in their hands other than a mouse. They're not your viewer.
So
yeah, I saw a TikTok where a girl's like, for all the men who stopped being my viewers when they found out I wasn't a minor.
Oh wow.
And I'm like,
That's
oh,
fucked.
Oh yeah, but it goes right on the same line that you're talking about.
Those aren't the people you want in anyway. Yeah.
No, they aren't.
So that's weird.
So my thing is like there's been a number of different ones, right? We're talking about that for a second, right? There's been a number of different ones. I have nothing against it if that is something that somebody either one feels comfortable doing, right? They're like, hey, this is me. I'm happy with this. It's fine, right? I was just either one, this is who I am, or this is who I want to be, or this is, you know, look, there are. We talked about it last week with Swerve, right? We joked with Swerve. You know, the male stripper joke we made last week with Swerve, right? There's female strippers, there's male strippers, there's
be surprised what you could get me to do
listen,
for 5 gifted, man.
look, there's a it's not a hot tub apparently. There's a whole
Not 5.
there's a whole slew of people who are willing to do different things. The problem comes into when it blurs the line, right? For those people who are in those other channels to think it's acceptable to go to others, right? You get the people who love trolls in their channel, right? People who are just like toxic when they come in. If that person who goes, if this person, no, nobody's in toxic. Riley, you want to tell him? Riley, you tell him if I enjoyed your toxicity yesterday. You tell him if I enjoyed it yesterday, because I'll tell you right now, I did not.
Wait, one of mine
it.
was over there being mean?
Yeah, Riley came in. I think he thought it would be funny to hit me with the loud chicken dance in the middle of an arena game when I'm like fighting a guy.
That's not mean. That's opportunity.
No, okay. We're gonna pause and we're gonna talk about this for everybody. Because this is a lesson in my mind. Don't ruin something good for the people who follow proper etiquette. Okay? That's my rule right here. I have those things and I have a good time and I vibe out to them and I make a fool out of myself for a bunch of people and they enjoy it and I'm like, I a lot of the time it just comes and I'm like, I'm good with it. When somebody takes it, and I don't know if Riley was actually trying to, so Riley, if you weren't, that's fine. I did a whole spiel at the end of my stream saying I'm not going to be mad about it tomorrow, because I'm not. Yesterday I was mad. I was angry. It was my last game of the night. Me and Ari were playing arenas. Ari is sitting on like packet loss. His internet like wins was messing up his internet, so he wasn't playing well. You know, I'm playing arenas, and then all of a sudden this happens. It's my last game of the night, and I die during it. And now I don't.
That's even worse.
And I don't get to play. Right? I'm like dead, and I'm like it kind of spoiled my night. Well, here's my thing. I have to turn it off. If people are gonna abuse it and make it like a way of sabotaging me, then I'm gonna turn it off, and that's gonna ruin it for the people who are actually using it correctly, right? And I explained this yesterday at the end of my stream. I don't mind it. You know, you see me laugh or dance when it's Warzone, when I'm like whatever, or like creative, or like a pub match. If I'm playing arena, I'm playing competitive. I just want to be left alone in that scope of things. I can take like a normal one.
Do you think you're gonna get in the habit of turning your alerts off during that time?
No, I'll just turn it off completely. That's what'll end up happening.
You wouldn't turn it off for arena?
I mean, if I can get in the habit of it, sure, but I don't think I will, and I think I'll just turn
it off. That's what I had to do. Anytime I would go competitive, I just had to turn off specific alerts.
Well, sure. I don't want to have to do that. I want people to follow the rules in my chat.
I get that.
Bots are allowed to stay as long as they follow the rules and don't
follow
about me.
Dude. I can't believe you don't ban them.
All right, so
it's like every time I get banned on Bitsy's channel because I go a little too long when I'm chatting.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what happened?
That's common.
Like the first major comments I've made on Bitsy's channel, I've gotten banned. Now she can read it and all that, but she had people using ASCII to make like dicks and stuff in her chat. So she had to restrict if you type too long of a comment,
she has a character
automatically get banned.
Yeah.
So like the first couple of times I was in her chat, she unbanned me like 3-4 times.
We've all been there
talking movies and stuff because, you know, her and I jive. We had Black confused one night because we were bouncing references for Empire Records. By the way, have you watched that yet? I recommend it. It's a blast.
I'll have to.
But the big followers, I mean, they hit the 20th anniversary and there's a bar somewhere on the East Coast or maybe it was the West Coast, I forget where it is, where they reenact the whole movie every year. But on the anniversary, some of the cast members actually showed up and had a blast with them just reenacting, because there's a lot of history behind what happened with Empire Records. You had a bunch of, you know, miners making this movie in this small little town, and the stories of the chaos that they created in town, and the fun they had with it. But we were bouncing back and forth because we're both big movie buffs. So I would put small paragraphs in there, and then it's like, "Oh, you've been banned." I'm like, "What?" Oh, she's like, "Don't worry about it. I'll unban you and read the comment and stuff like that." So
Yeah. But that's what happens when you get people who ruin it for everybody, right? Like,
oh
you know,
yeah,
you get people who follow the rules. But so these hot tub streams, separate of conversation of what they're doing, what's going on, because I don't really mind, you know what I mean? Um, I watched a girl the other day because I pull listen, if Twitch is gonna put something on my homepage, I'm gonna like look at it and be like, what's going on there? And I'm gonna click on it, okay? And the other day, this girl was doing body painting, okay? I
There's a lot shown.
that was a partner. It amazed me that that's a partner. You're on the homepage. There was a lot shown, and
And it's allowed.
and actually, so that's the thing. Callie the other day tweeted about it, not about that specifically, but just in general. That the thing people should be complaining about is there's nothing restricting these kids from finding that channel or seeing that channel.
Yeah, other than an 18 plus that anyone can click past.
Right, you can click past, but it doesn't stop it from showing up on that person's like homepage.
Oh yeah, good point.
And then
but
they
the
can
18
click
plus
past it.
click past has been since dial-up.
Yeah.
But
I had to bring that up. I was like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, I'm 18."
Yeah, exactly.
Even though your account clearly states you're 13, it still lets you through. I'll never understand that.
So I don't know what they need, what these any streaming service needs to do for protecting a younger, whether it be a young adult or whatever, right? Teenager, protecting them from it is my only concern. And I don't care. Hey, look, I wasn't allowed to curse until I moved out. And even when I go back, I try my best not to curse because my parents don't. I don't hear them curse. Right?
Dude,
If this is going on, like, and there's a lot of parents, or cursing just one, right? It could be drinking, like you talked earlier, right? It could be smoking, cigarettes, all these different things, right? It could be sexual things, right? All those things come into play when you're talking about humanity, okay? And every person in humanity has a different take and outlook on it. And I'm not trying to manipulate or control or convince anybody one way is better than another. My problem is somebody who has one mindset is going to pop up wanting to watch video games. And the other day, she was body painting herself as Lara Croft, and she had less on than the actual Lara Croft like movies that are provocative, right? Because it was just paint. And I was like, holy shit, is this like real? You know what I mean? And I'm fine with it. And I then went on to say that if I ever get 1,000 subs in a month, I will take that money, I will blow up a fucking hot tub right here, and I'll do a fucking hot tub stream the whole next month, okay?
That's my problem. I would have to do it where my entire neighborhood can fucking see me.
No, I would do it in the room.
The
I'd do it in the room right behind me.
I don't have the room.
You have the same amount of space right here. I can do it right here on the floor. It'll be a small one.
It's my fucking wall.
It'll be a small
Yeah,
one.
but they got those hot tubs that are only like 3 feet wide.
Yeah, just like the little ones.
Oh, that's just asking for a problem.
Look, I said
all of a sudden my kid's gonna come in here and fucking.
I didn't say what it was gonna be. I just said I was gonna sit in a hot tub if that's what you people want. You know what I mean? If that's what people want, that's what people want. You know?
And he's just gonna fill it with Orbeez or something, He's not.
It's like that's just
man,
so Black, you said you're not doing it. I said,
I said I would.
Oh, he's got a price.
I gotta figure something out.
I said if I hit the mark that will pay for the hot tub to get in here, right? Then
so
fine.
Caesar's is 1,000. Man, I'm gonna be cheap.
Yeah, it's for the whole month. For the whole month. If it builds there, fine, I'll do it. If that's what people want, fine. I don't see why they do. Like, why? Listen, I'm not as fit as I used to be. I've been sitting in this chair. I just told you, I've been sitting in this chair for the last year and a half. I'm not going to look good in a Speedo, let me tell you. You guys.
Oh, I'm not going that far.
Okay. So
Riley puts in the chat. He's gifted 1,000 subs. Wrong channel, Riley. Good try.
Okay. Do you remember last Dadcast where I brought up and at the end and I showed you guys the breakdown of my Bugs Bunny video?
Yeah.
I got demonetized on that stream because I showed that.
Because of the music?
No. I had my gaming rig disabled, like audio wise. So even if it was playing audio and you guys could hear it, my stream didn't hear it. I got demonetized for showing inappropriate content.
Nice guy just sent over a link for the inflatable hot tub.
Yeah, I see it.
I just don't know how to get to it.
You know it's funny.
Yeah, I got demonetized.
Dustin,
that entire stream.
That's nuts.
And that was the long one because you decided not to split them.
Dude, I made like $8 in ad revenue that day. Lost it all.
Oh, $8.
Hey, I made more in that one stream in ad revenue than most people make in their entire Twitch life.
I agree. That's good. I'm just saying,
but still,
throw
every penny counts, bro.
Couple zeros on that, and I'll split the difference. But I ain't sending you $8. That's your own fault. You showed it.
No. I'm just saying. I thought it was weird.
It is weird because like that's
out
not
of
even
all
very...
the things they do is they demonetize my stream. That's the thing about Facebook. I stopped being live and I'm still making money on the ad revenue, even though I'm not live. But like now that stream is not monetized, I can't make anything on it.
Yeah. So I was gonna tell Dustin, because he's probably afraid to try. I have removed all of Nightbot's control on the Dad Club Gaming Twitch page. So you can emote it up, you can send the links, you can do all the stuff that you normally
I'm on horny motherfucker watch. These guys, dude.
So
I got Kenny and Randy going crazy.
So Waka in the chat said, and Black, I think you could do this. You know?
What's up? What? Wait, what are we talking about?
Do this as a TikTok. Here's an idea. Take your garden hose outside, buy yourself a tarp, put it in the back of that truck, fill that bad boy up, and do nice little
redneck hot tub, man.
Little redneck hot tub out there.
My truck's got airbags. It wouldn't even sag.
There you go. Put it back there, and
oh god,
heat up the water or something.
If I did it, I would just move the pool to inside the garage so that I could have my privacy, and then do the full stream. I would
do it in the back of the truck. Do it in the back of the truck.
I have a tunnel cover. It's fiberglass. I'm not removing my tunnel cover.
Take it off.
No way.
Take it off.
The thing weighs like 200 pounds.
While you're taking off your shirt and putting on your trunks, take it off.
Just gonna do this real fast.
And we thought the scary moments as a dad was bad enough and getting dark.
Yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, it's very interesting. Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm a little scared right now, to be honest with you. I don't know if Black shirt's gonna stay on for the rest of the Dadcast.
It is. It is.
It's starting to come off.
It is.
You heard him, chat.
Yeah, Riley said you're sus. So it's interesting what's been going on. My concern with it is just more that I see it on the homepage. Am I seeing it on the homepage because they think that's what I want to see? Is that what's going on? I don't think so. I hope not. Just because of the people I follow, like so I follow a lot of the people who, if I'm in somebody's channel, they raid, I go and follow, right? Show help whoever out that was raiding, in some way. One of those people that got raided, she does some she's a little classier, I would say, than the hot tub in the room, because it is just a little weird, right? It's a hot tub in a room. If it was an actual hot tub, maybe that makes a little bit more sense to me, but it's just a blow up hot tub. It's a blow up. It's a little weird. It's a little weird that it's in a room. Like, who does that? I'd be afraid. What happens if the water gets all over here? Now I got water damage, I got to fix. I'm thinking in that angle. But one of these people does like just chatting and is outside at their pool doing just chatting, right? I wonder if because I followed that person, it just kept going. What happened?
It was an accident. Yes, you are.
Will you tell Miranda that we warned you? Will you tell her that we warned you?
She can hear you.
Well, tell her, Miranda, we tried to warn him multiple times, and he still defied our guidance. And was
you
like,
warned him.
You know what he said? You know what he said? He said, "Fuck Miranda, I'm blowing this up." That's what he said.
Oh, I was layering in some subliminal
take off my shirt.
pieces. I wanted to see that thing go off, but I just didn't want to see him nail himself in the schnoz with it, you know?
We're kicking it around. It's in a pile right now. Oh, the fucking A.
Listen, there's a TikTok right now, Black. There's a TikTok where a woman is sweeping into a dustpan.
Put them in their bed.
A bunch of.
You got to be the boss. Don't let him bully you.
I'm to bully you.
I'll let you.
Are you talking about the rivalry between that husband and wife, and they've moved on to the chalk one?
The husband shoots the thing right on the ground as she's sweeping up the rest of the floor. He shoots one of those down, and makes.
Now they want 500 stars to take off the shirt.
All right, we're not getting into that.
No, I can't. Caesar's on Twitch. I don't want him to get banned.
I'm on Twitch. I'm on Facebook right now.
I won't get banned on Facebook. I can do that all day.
I'm on Twitch. I'm on Facebook, and I'm posting it to YouTube. Let's get back on track.
Makes more sense with the music. I got music, so
I don't hear any music. You just look like you're doing something silly. So, talk games for a second. Kobutah,
there's some history there.
We've been playing some Warzone recently. I know you've gotten in a couple games with me because I'm like, let's try this out. Like, I'm trying to get better and better at it.
Same here.
You want to list like what kind of games you're into for everybody?
Well, let's just say I've been gaming since since the 80s. I used to get kicked out of Radio Shacks because I would go in and sit on the tandy playing Wolfenstein for hours on end because, that's where I started. If you were to ask me what my favorite game is, Zork.
Okay.
So you're going back to Infocom back in the day, all text-based. But recently, I'd say in the last 10 years, FPS has been solid. I used to be an RTS guy for the longest time during the original Warcraft and Warcraft 2 days. And I still remember my freshman attempt at college. We used to load up Doom 2 and the Quake demo, and I learned how to strafe because I was arrow keys and all this other stuff and never used my mouse. But just a lot of history into it. Now, Division 2, absolutely, I've got hundreds of hours in on that game. Warzone, I kind of picked it up because I was watching people play, and there were some dynamics that I was really loving. Edge grabbing on jumps. That's a newer thing in the last, I don't know, 5-10 years. Because if they built it, initially they'd build the level design so you couldn't even, if you couldn't jump to it, you couldn't get up on it. So I've had a lot of fun with that. I think one of the guys made a comment the other night how I was parkouring through this one section. Is how the heck do you get over there? It's like, oh man, you should have seen it. It was just jumping like crazy. I'm like, that just made sense because the original Prince of Persia, all this other stuff. I mean, I have decades of gaming, and this last year, I've just taken a dive into so many different games because they've changed so much. But yeah, Division 2, Overwatch, now Warzone. And I find playing with groups, I mean, the community with Black and you, Caesar, has just been great. I've gotten in some games because I hate jumping into random groups.
Oh, I love it.
My goodness.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I did that for Easter Sunday in my bunny costume. In my bunny costume. I'm like, you know what? Nobody's on right now. It's Easter Sunday. Nobody's on. I'm in this suit. Let's just do randoms. And I went in and, I got lucky because I did hit a lot of decent people like that weren't like, I don't know. You can get in some where people aren't talking, or you can get into some where um, they're really rude or whatever, right? But I got in, and I actually friended a couple of them, played a couple games in a row with them, which was pretty fun.
Yeah, I've pulled a few guys like that where, I like playing zombies. I think it's that Wolfenstein need to kill Nazi zombies because they've added those. I'm like, oh yeah, let's kill some Nazis. Because I've been playing that way too long, and I've picked up a few people. But when you got a 12, 13-year-old that has got a mouth on them, it's like, well, I mute, and then it just gets out of line. I'm like, nah, it's a block. I don't have time for that. It's been too many years of
Sure,
this. I want to play with people that are there to have fun, and if we're calling it serious, we're going to play it serious,
sure,
Uh, and you have those understandings, but the people that just come in and to be toxic, uh, I'm at a point in my life is like that. I've already removed, you know, so many people from my life because they were toxic to it. I want to play a video game as an escape. It's my way
sure.
to break
Makes
away,
sense.
relax a little bit, have some fun. And that's what I'm there for. I don't play competitive because I stress myself too much about it. And next thing you know, I'm in practice missions or in shooting range to test out how things are, and that's a rabbit hole. Part of my hyper focus and my ADHD that kicks in that it's 4 a.m. and I started at like 8, and I'm like, oh
Mistake.
crap, I got to go to work in a couple of hours, and 2 hours of sleep isn't me good enough. Well, I got to stay up, and
I do that
you
to
know,
myself.
it's those lessons learned. Uh, it it's a lot of fun. I love watching. When Black does his scare streams, or Bitsy plays a lot of. I don't even know what the Phasma. I'll just call it that
Fast,
because I don't
yeah,
even know
yeah.
the full.
Was it
Because
Phasmophobia? Is that what it's called?
isn't that what it is?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Black? Phasmophobia?
Phas? Yeah, phasmophobia. It's also
yeah,
phas.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
yeah.
just shorten it to that, but you
Well, and
also
I
call
come from the
Kobutah
era of.
Kubota, so
Oh, we just had to come back, didn't we?
don't worry.
But
Don't worry. This doesn't my mind doesn't let things
Mm.
go, okay, Riley? If you ever come into my chat and you do that again,
no,
So have
but
you played Thief yet?
which one?
The Wait, there's two?
There's like 4. You do realize that's like a high-end remake of the original that was like 10 to
Well,
15
then the
years
high
back.
end, I don't know.
That one.
I got one in one of my random Steam packs. I just
Oh,
didn't
I
give it
remember when
away.
you
I
ran
used
across
it.
it. I remember
Yeah.
when you ran across it. No, the first few versions of that. So there's Thief 1, Thief 2. They're a little more polygoned, back when, I'm thinking, oh, this is great. It looks better than the original Quake. Uh, and the sneak features that honestly went right up with oh crud, what's the one? The
'Cause
guy
it
with
looks
the
good.
yeah, oh yeah, the new one is amazing, but what was the game? It's the guy with the black suit, and he's got the
I don't know.
the night vision goggles. There was a whole
Splinter
series of
Cell?
them. There you go. It's kind of, it's a
That's
lot
a
like
good
Splinter Cell,
game.
the sneak around function of it. I think Thief took it to another level because you're not dealing with technology. Um, yeah, fantastic game. Haven't played the newest one.
I gotta
Um,
try it.
yeah, you're gonna get aggravated. I thought it was
I
bad
do.
enough playing, getting into board games where, it's a co-op board game, you're playing against the game and you're gonna lose 50 times out of 51. Uh, I have a extreme hatred for the House on Haunted Hill, because of the one time we were playing it, and next thing you know, they're like, "Oh, the mansion is flying in the sky. There's only one parachute." And next thing you know, instead of working together, we're beating the crap out of each other to get a parachute. So only one guy gets to jump out of the house. I'm like, oh, that was fun until the house went in the air. Uh,
Yeah.
and I don't play Dark Souls. I tried Bloodborne. Bloodborne looks absolutely amazing, but you're gonna die more than you're gonna play the game,
mm,
because it's so nuts. For people who are into that, cool, great. My best friend loves Bloodborne and games like that where you die all the time. I'm an extreme explorer. So that's why I always end up trying to catch up to you guys when we're playing Warzone because I'm digging through the houses. I hear that noise and I'm conditioned to I have to find that damn chest. Where the heck
Yeah.
is that chest?
Where are you?
And next thing you know, I'm like, oh crap, there's the gas. I gotta run.
We're all guilty of that.
You know, and you know, when I played Destiny 2 with buddies on PlayStation, um, it was, you know, I was the explorer. I was the one going into every single crevice and digging around like, what's taking so long? Oh, found a chest over here, all this other stuff. And I was like, where? I'm like, oh, you do this, and uh it's kind of crazy. I don't know. I've expanded my mind on games a lot. Uh Never thought I would play Warzone because I love the core game Fortnite. I've talked to you about this, Caesar.
Yeah,
The
save the
original
world.
game with the fun, crazy little zombies that you're keeping to protect your fortress and all the other stuff. And then it's like Battle Royale. I got into it a few times and then I'm like, this isn't for me.
Which is
And to
now
actually,
free with the crew pass, which kind of blows because I bought that game, but whatever.
Same.
Hey,
oh, I got
it
a
gave me
key
a
from a
ton.
buddy
So
getting a founder's pass back before they went live. And he sent that over to me. So I've been able to play that, thankfully. So I don't have to feel miffed about that. Cause I think, isn't that the save the world part? Is that
Yeah.
what they call it?
yeah.
Yeah, I think Riley was talking about that the other night. I'm like, yeah, that does kind of suck for those who have paid for it. Now it's free.
I got it like 50% off though, so it's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like you buy something at full price, somebody buys it months later or when they do a sale. You don't ever get your money back, you know? Like everybody bought PGA Tour for 20 or 30 bucks. I paid 60 for it. I don't get my 30 or 40 bucks back. It's the same thing. I would never bitch about the fact that it's free now or not free, it's with the crew pass. But I mean, that would be me saying, hey, I'm not going to log in 700 days because I've logged in to save the world 700 days.
That's crazy.
Isn't it? Like basically,
I have not.
well,
I'm at
so,
like maybe 150.
so I'm not saying, so I don't play it. All you have to do is open it, right? So like you go into Battle Royale and then you open it. I'm actually mad that they've recently changed the setting that now it doesn't go to that home screen because it goes to select your game and I would normally select save the world, then exit it and go into Battle Royale. Now I have to remember to do it, switch my game and go over there. But yeah, I mean, I earn V-Bucks on it, so I definitely do it. We actually got a
Oh,
new
that's
follower
somebody
during that.
ruining.
What's
That's
that?
somebody ruining something for everybody else.
Yeah,
It was all you, Caesar.
it was
How
me.
dare you?
But how did I ruin it?
Oh no, I'm just messing. They
Oh.
probably made the switch out of convenience for people.
To go into Battle Royale for sure. That's what I imagine. We did get a new follow during all that. Justin Lee. I don't know if you guys know Justin Lee.
He come over from me.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I mean, it sounds like the depth of games that you've been playing. I agree with you. Warzone. So Fortnite was interesting, right? I picked that up over 3 years ago now, and I've played it pretty much almost every day for the last 3 years. Like there's been a couple days here and there that I did not play. I always felt like I know people complain about the audio. My vertical audio is more footsteps related. I know where a chest is. I feel like it's recently gotten a little bit worse. But Warzone, on the other hand, I'm completely screwed. If I don't know where that chest normally spawns, I have no idea where the chest is because I feel like their audio is so much more distance. Am I right in that thinking?
So
Like a bus can be like 2 blocks over, and I hear the goddamn chest in the bus.
Yeah, so Warzone audio can be manipulated a lot, but by default, you hear a lot more than what you need to hear, in my opinion. Some people love that factor, but for me, I have everything cranked to the max, and then people always wonder why I can hear someone in 2 houses over. But I love that spatial awareness. Sometimes it gets me in a little pickle
So you're
because I
saying
think they're closer.
you said that's the default though, hearing things far away.
Yeah, because like you
I
can
gotta step
amplify
away
that.
for 2 seconds, guys.
Yeah, good.
Okay. You can amplify that with your high and lows. The more you take low out of the game, the less you hear.
Gotcha. Did you pay him to get up and leave?
Yeah.
So
it was a paid ad.
So we could see, yeah.
For anyone that doesn't know, I am a Secret Labs affiliate.
bullshit,
And if you
man.
want to check out their chairs, more than happy to type !SL in my chat. Or if you want to know about my Batman chair, type !chair. You'll know all about the Batman chair. And we also just revealed an amazing Secret Labs desk, has RGB backing and all the proper wire hiding features.
This is ridiculous. How much did you pay him? It better have been a lot.
100.
Better have been a lot to get him to
He
get
bought
up.
that because of me.
No, I know, but just to get up in this moment and have the chair sit
Look at
there,
the
you know what I
Titan
mean?
XL. Look at it. It's perfect.
We were
Thank
just
you
talking
for that
about,
ad break.
Yeah, we were just talking how much he paid you to get up so we could see the Secret Labs chair. So he could do his little
I
ad spiel.
love this chair, man. I have been working on stuff.
Are you gonna clip
He's
this
totally
and
gonna
post it to
clip this.
TikTok? You know, like
He
fade
is.
in the customer who loves Secret Labs chair now.
No,
Put his
I've
little
actually
name
had
down
time
there
for my
at
back
IT.
hurting,
Yeah.
and I'll tell my wife flat out. I said I got to go sit in my chair downstairs.
Yeah.
I've sat in the worst chairs in the world. I've sat in, the stupid $2,000 Herman Miller chairs. They're okay. This one I can sit in for an extended period of time. I mean, this replaced a 15-year-old chair that had great lumbar support, but the seat was trash. And there were so many out there. And I read reviews, Black spoke about it, and customer service is big for me.
Sure.
I've dealt with companies like Dell on their business side transitioning to overseas support, things like that. I've had great experience. My Astros, I called them up and I didn't even have a receipt for the dang things. And I'm talking to him. I'm like, hey, this is what's going on. He's like, yeah, I'll send you the cable. You'll be good to go. I'm like, what does it cost me? And he's like, nah, we got you covered. And I'm like, you don't even have proof that I paid for these. I actually got them from a friend. And, companies that take that extra service, that's where I want to put my money.
You guys ready? You guys ready for my rant now? You just spurred up a rant. All right, we're coming up on 2 minutes. We're coming up on 2 hours, so we are going to be wrapping up here shortly. I do have to do an edit at the beginning, which I blame myself. Obviously, it was my fault, and now I have to edit at the beginning. But I have to get this rant in. Okay, you just spurred a rant. My water heater a couple months ago. Okay, in this house.
Okay.
Leaks. I got a big puddle in my laundry room everywhere. I'm like, oh God, what the heck's going on? So I shut off the water to the whole house, call somebody. Okay. So looking for a warranty, right? Trying to figure that out. So I actually called on their website, it says call this plumber basically, right? That they work with. Call him. He says, hey, I don't have that model. You'll want to call to see if you can get a warranty. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So I call. This thing's I've been in this house 4 years this March. It probably went out around that time. They installed it just before putting the house on the market. Okay. So I call them. This serial number is not on file or anything like that. So I now give them my information. This is my lesson to people right here. Do not give the company more than they need to know, because you're not going to run into a Secret Labs company. You're going to run into the water heater company who says, oh, you're not the primary owner. You bought this house and it was somebody else first, even though it wasn't registered in the system, and they would have had no idea that this was the case, and it would have been mine and they would have never known. Oh, well, you don't get the warranty. It's void. It doesn't pass along. That's what happens. So that's my rant. That's my lesson for you as you get older and you get into adult things. Do not give the big company more than what they need to know. Answer the questions they need. My loud mouth went in like, yeah, well, I'm not like the first owner. I bought the house and this was here, but it was installed right at the beginning. And because I blurted that out, and I guarantee that the people who lived here before intentionally did not register the product, because my plumber didn't register the product, right? He said, I'm not going to register it, so you don't need to register it until you need to use it. This way, if the next person you sell the house to needs it, they can register it under their name. That's my lesson. That's my rant. I'm still sticking with my lab secret chair. For those of you who don't get the reference, go hit up the TikTok, Go hit up the TikTok. I got a good TikTok on that one.
No, I can understand that, man. I completely understand that. I had my furnace go out last fall, right before winter hit, and ended up doing everything. Heater, air conditioner, hot water heater. So, yeah, I think companies that do that are just looking for a way out. They really don't want to support their customers.
You gotta love the companies that are willing to stick by their stuff. It shouldn't matter.
100%.
It shouldn't matter that somebody else, it's a second owner, right? It shouldn't matter. In a situation that you have a water heater that's supposed to be 6 years and it lasted 4, right? That shouldn't matter. You make a
Yep.
product, you should be able to back it up. And it sucks because I have to take it out on a customer service person who is just doing their job by the book that they're given, right? Another human being who's just probably hates their job, or maybe they love their job, but they hate that part of it, whatever. Because maybe there are people out there who love saying no to people, right?
Oh, there
There
is.
are.
But but I was just saying, like, yeah, it's one of those things that if I'm giving a lesson out there, don't I don't know, don't trust that every I trust that every person has maybe you shouldn't trust that every person has good intentions, but you know what I mean. Like most people have good intentions. Most companies are looking out for themselves. But if you find those companies, support them. Support them any way you can, right?
And I'm going to add on to that a little bit because I've had some experiences over the last few years with customer service, and in situations that I should be pretty fed up and not happy. But having been in customer service, technical customer service for so many years, I'm done with people on the negative because they don't hear the positive enough. So if you take anything away from this, imagine changing somebody's day in the blink of an eye. Is if you have an extra 5 minutes and you've had to call customer service and you ask for a manager, the first response are going to be, well, what did I do wrong? And it's like, no, you didn't do anything wrong. It was a great experience. I just want to let your manager know this.
Hmm.
But those situations where I should have been pretty fired up in the situation, I came in really calm. I had one company, I sent a product in, I was ready to pay $300 for the repair for what I needed because I couldn't find the parts myself for less than that, and they were going to do it. And then next thing you know, I get an email saying, "Oh, sorry, it's going to be $550." So I call them up. I should be pretty ticked about this, but I'm calm and I'm courteous with it. And I'm like, I just want to find out why. I want to understand. By the time that call was done, I was getting a free repair,
Oh wow.
even though I'd already put in my information to pay the 300 some bucks. And the guy's like, "Oh, no, we got it all taken care of." And I'm like, "Okay, so I'm going to pay the $300 that, I was initially ready to pay." "Nope, nope, we got you all covered. Parts, labor, we'll get it taken care of. It's going to take a little bit to get it taken care of for you, but we got it covered for you." I'm like, "You're serious?" He goes, "Oh, heck yeah, man." Is it you have been calm, you've been nice the whole time, you explained things, all this other stuff. We have the ability to do this for you. If you call in kicking and screaming, no, we're gonna leave it the way it is because they have that ability. Uh, so taking that time to do that, and I mean, in your situation, it's kind of a little bit different, but it's my lesson to pass on to people.
Sure.
Give those people on the other end the courtesy that you want to receive, and you never know how that's going to come back. It may never come back, and that person may just have a much better day because you took 5 minutes to talk to their manager and say, "Hey, you know what? They did a great job." I was a call center manager. Believe me, 99 out of 100 calls that you end up getting pulled into as a manager is somebody just losing their mind on you. But that one person that comes through and says, "Hey, you know what? I just wanted to take time to say they did a great job, and I'm really thankful that they work for you."
That's
You're
awesome.
gonna you got that chance to turn things around for people. It's we don't know how much power we actually have, but that power may only affect one person or two. But that's a domino effect. Those people are gonna change how they treat somebody else that day, and it's gonna keep rolling, and we just got to keep doing that stuff.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, I completely agree. My wife hates the fact that I usually stay calm when talking to things that I should have gotten worked up about. I'm much easier getting worked up when I don't have my thoughts collected than when I know what I'm going into. Which
Yeah.
what I didn't know what I was going into was somebody's going to, because I gave them calmly, all the, here's my name and we're the previous owner. It was at that moment that like all of a sudden it was not going to be under warranty. Well, the first person said it was under warranty, right? So when I
It
come
was at
back,
that moment that
yeah, it
he
was at that
knew
moment.
he fucked up.
Yeah, I did. I was like, what the fuck? Why did I tell them this? Right? I was doing everything I thought was okay at that point. So, but like I
Sorry,
said,
I had to interrupt you there, man.
no,
It was
no,
too
it
perfect of an
fits.
opportunity.
It absolutely fits. And so, yeah, it's just, I agree with you. Staying calm in the moment for sure.
And if I ever do this again, please remind me not to drink so much.
Why are you hiccuping?
Oh
Or you
no,
had
where
to
do
use
you
the
think I had
bathroom?
to run to?
Bathroom. Oh, I legit just thought Black paid you to fucking put the secret lab chair there. I thought you were like waiting until his ad was
You
over so
really
you could
did,
come
dude.
back.
Oh no, absolutely. I've been working outside so much, I was a little bit dehydrated.
Hydrating, yeah.
So, drank this whole glass of water. I drank one of these before,
Damn.
and then I was into one of them. Yeah, they got this new strawberry lemonade. And I got to stop
Ooh,
telling people about it because it's getting hard to find where I live because it's like, oh, you're in here buying this all the time. Is it good? I'm like, yeah, it tastes great. Next
I
thing you know, I
haven't,
come in and they're sold out. I'm like, come on.
yeah, I haven't been able to find the pink lemonade. I feel like they got rid of it where I'm at. Because I'm a big peach. I like the peach tea, or I like the lemonade and iced tea, or the lemonade and tea one.
The
But I
lemonade
also,
and tea, but peach was always my go-to before I
yeah,
found this one. This is like the strawberry lemonade at Olive Garden.
if I find it, I'll definitely try that soon.
Yeah,
I
I thought
haven't
it was
had
an
it.
older one, but I didn't realize it was a new one because the can was so plain.
Sure.
But yeah, no, I know what you mean. We're we're too alike on that, man.
Yeah.
I have not met anybody else that actually likes the peach one. They always look at me and say, "Oh, it's
Oh
peach.
no,
It's
I
terrible." I'm
have a
like, "Oh
couple
my
friends.
goodness."
I have a couple friends. Once we found the peach one, it was like that was the one. Now I can't drink too many of them, so I drink usually 2 monsters in like succession for my drive to Pittsburgh to keep me awake. I would always drive in the middle of the night, so it was my way of 4.5 hours. Drink one in the first 2 hours, drink the second one. I can't ever drink two peaches back to back though. It's like at that point I need just the regular tea and
And
lemonade
you
one or
start getting
something.
this going on when you do that, right?
Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
lot of sugar
Yeah.
on top of the caffeine.
like like Black is right now.
But you mentioned being on again. We would love to have you. Like I tell everybody, we'd love to.
100%.
We haven't had anybody that yet that I said no, you're not coming back. No, we've
Challenge
would
accepted.
we
No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
right. No, we'd love to have you back on. Hopefully when your beard's another 2 inches longer or something. You know what I mean?
Dude.
I can't. There is a length, and it's the weird part. I actually a couple months ago had to cut an inch and a half off. Because you'll love this story. I was working in the garage, and I got my drill, and I'm working on the chuck, and I tighten the chuck. I didn't pull the trigger, but I tried to lower the drill down, and it was like, oh, I'm like, oh crap! And I had to undo the chuck so I could lower the drill because I realized I had twisted my beard into the chuck.
Oh my god.
Well, I'm always scared. If you've seen that picture, there's a guy out there that was using an angle grinder,
Yeah.
and then you see this rip. And he goes, when you work in a machine shop and your beard's gotten too long, and I'm not kidding you, it was like a cut like this, and then he shows the tool and it had caught, and thankfully it didn't rip up into his face, but there was the giant chunk of his beard was in this angle grinder, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that is my ultimate fear when it comes to my beard.
I just trimmed mine up yesterday because mine starts to get a little like my skin gets irritated underneath, and when my skin gets irritated underneath, I just like to like scratch at my dry skin, and the next thing you know I'm like irritating
That's
my
the
skin more and
itch.
more. Well, no, I mean
People
mine was
people
way
ask
past
me
the itch.
about.
Mine was way past the itch. Mine was now in a phase of like my skin was just dry, right? Like now I'm actually itching. Like I'm at the length now that everything itches, but I was at like a dry phase where it was just like,
You got to oil.
yeah, yeah, it's a lot of
I,
work.
and just looping back because I think we cut this off before we went live. uh my shirt comment,
Yeah,
about the shirts. My barber actually has a shirt that starts under beard height, and it actually says, "With great beard comes great responsibility." He's actually kind of rolling with that, and I'm thinking I need to partner up with him for that
Get into
because.
t-shirts, yep.
But he supplies my oils and all that other stuff, and no, I can tell. But yeah, as you were talking, for anybody who's wants to go with a beard, you're at that length of Caesar, you will have a week to
Oh yeah,
10
this itch.
days
Yeah,
of the itch. And it is an itch that you think at some point you're going to start scratching your skin
yeah.
off. But once you get past that, you're good to
you,
go.
you
You'll make
you
it.
you get the greatness. You get to the greatness that
Yeah.
Kobutah has here. But yeah,
I'm going full Gandalf when I retire. So, if
that's
this is still
great.
going on and I'm retired, I'll come on, and I will have to get up on the chair like Black was earlier just to see the length that's sitting there, you know.
No, that'd be awesome. So you can definitely sign up at any point. We already have a couple people signed up for their second stint already. As I said at the beginning of this is episode 16. So we have some people from early episodes getting ready to be on for their second time. I'm gonna do my best to circle through the people who haven't been on first before we get to those second, unless it makes sense to get to the second because of something specific. I know Vibe just had a baby, so he said he's ready for his part two. We wanted to ask him about, hey, you're now a father, right? Like, let's talk about that a little bit. We have
Welcome to the club.
yeah, right. Well, welcome officially to Dad Club Gaming. We have Nice Guy Gaming sign up for a second time. He just got affiliate streaming, so now that's an aspect we probably talk about.
On the next one, we'll get into some of that.
All the stuff up there.
Oh, and the one that's hiding.
Dude, I was gonna
right
ask
there,
about
the James Bond Aston
Yeah.
Martin DB5. Okay, you guys can tell I can talk, right?
Yeah.
I opened that box. It was like, I think it was the first Christmas after
And you were speechless.
my now wife and I opened the box and I'm just like, I've been a James Bond fan since I've been 10 years old. So, I mean, you guys want content? I've got content for you guys.
Just lost it. So, hey, we're down always. Like I said, always welcome to have you back. Just go through the sign up, and anybody out there who's watching, I know Black usually has the link in his chat. It's in my chat if you hit exclamation point. Sign up. You'll get a link to the Discord to sign up. I will have this posted to YouTube once I do a little bit of editing sometime next week. And hopefully I get the TikTok up a little bit sooner than I did today because I did post it right before this. And remember out there, buy your secret labs chair with Black Hack's affiliate link. So, Kobutah,
I just had to do that, man.
No, you're good. You're good. It's great. It was great talking to you and actually getting the face to face because I know you and I, like I said, we were playing. I don't know. Did we only play trios? Did we play a duo game? I can't remember. I think we played a couple games.
Duos or quads.
Duos or quads. Yeah, we played a couple of them. So I know I was already getting, conversation while playing games and find out a little bit more about you. But it's great to get the. I mean, honestly, the people missed it, right? When I joined this call, Black was like, just saw the TikTok I just posted, thought I cut my hair.
Oh, he was losing his mind.
He was losing his mind. Thought I cut my hair. Everybody's thought I cut my hair, and then I was like, okay, I'm just gonna take off my hat so they can see. I'm sitting here shaking my hair, and then Kobutah joins, and I'm just like I stopped because I'm like, oh my god, because I had never seen him before, and now his beard's literally mid sternum. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna put my hair away because
Black couldn't make my logo long enough so we got close enough. That's my beard from about 4 years ago in my logo that he created for me.
Nice.
Which I gotta say, he killed it with that. I love it. And I'm just
he's
plugging
killing
for him.
logos now with this new tool he has too. He's killing it.
I literally just finished yours.
Can't wait.
It's going to be in your DM like
when it renders.
That looked awesome the other day.
Can't wait.
Oh, you should see it after this. I'll switch screens.
All right. Well, we'll continue talking here in a second, but we will switch it out. Kobutah, once again, thank you. I will churn through the ideas, but I think we're probably gonna land on build the memories just because we already talked about
I think it's great.
love what you do back in week 4, and you talked a lot, and that was a really intense, like Ari said, it was a very intense part, but it was meaningful, I think. So
I loved it.
yeah, it was great.
Well, it's the core of what the Dadcast should be. You know, it's dads sharing information. I mean, we also share about our love of gaming and all that other
Sure.
stuff, which, you know, I love this. I haven't caught every episode, but I catch it when I can.
Sure.
So a lot of great insight, and yeah, love to come back and share some more because there's so much more. And as you know, like you said, who did you say was that just had a kid?
Vibrant Panda.
Vibe. Yeah, and it's those new dads, the long-term dads, uh, sharing because, you know, dads sit out there and they're just wondering, "God, am I gonna do this right?" Well, guess what? There's no book, but there's a lot of dads out there that are ready to step up and help.
Yeah. No, I completely agree, and that's dads, moms, anybody. It's really,
Mhm.
this is all about. I keep saying it in my hashtags for is life lessons. It's just what have you gone through or been through or seen that somebody else might see, has seen, how they could approach it the same differently, right? And just learn from it. So that's kind of what we're trying to build. We're trying to build some character. So with that, I will switch us to the fuzzy screen and we'll catch you all next week.